name is pronounced in
Jonta.
English Jonta, yeah. Who is a player who used to play with Blade, and he should be connected into the match. I was watching. They just played Dignitas in the for the last map of the FACEIT qualifier in the match they had, which started yesterday. And they took that 2-1. First two maps were very close indeed. You can see Jonta there, plugged into the Matrix, and StarX next to him. So again, if you're wondering what that means, there, the coach, basically they're like they are a dead sixth player for each team, so they can sit in there and then communicate, assist, etc. I know Jonta watches demos for the team and so on, so I think his role is very similar to Devil Walks for Fnatic. Lots of research being done. Right, so here we go. What is that avatar of Edwards? I think it's Edward who has. I think his phone wallpaper is Stalin.
No comment there. Alright, so we go into the pistol, and already Simple will spot most of NaVi. Moving towards the A-bomb side, two really nice headshots though, and that is crippling. And 3 players here for Flipside. This is going to go very badly for NaVi, as there's just C's remaining now, and Simple claims his 4th kill. And this quick little 1-on-1, which puts C's down to 36 health, but still a huge disadvantage because the bomb is down in the A-long area. So it is not really retrievable unless C's finds some really, really nice long-range shots with this USP that he's picked up. So here's the first attempt. Needs to find the head. Good tags coming in, but he's not going to be able to even get the kill. So that was pretty nice. Nice little gamble there from Flipside. Because normally, actually, teams do kind of an A retake sort of thing, because B is like really hard once the T's get in there. But Flipside mixed it up. They went for the A push, which was unexpected from NaVi, I think.
Yeah, so Flipside, I don't know how recently NaVi have played this in an official match, but obviously Flipside played Peter on this yesterday, and Peter, their T-side was definitely unprepared. So they'll be facing stiffer opponents in NaVi, but for now it is the fourth buy coming out from the NaVi side. So far so good, Bondic making some nice money there, holding down the B bomb site, and that will be a complete clearance there for Flipside, not losing any players. Bondic surviving with 3 HP. For the next round.
I do love Simple embracing the kind of arrogant persona that he has put forth to the public with the hashtag CSGod after his name.
He's like the Kanye West of CIS Counter-Strike, Dan.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually a good comparison.
So what do you think of these? Have you heard these new knife swiping sounds?
No.
The original one sounded very grisly. And this one sounds like you've got the butter knife in the kitchen and you're just
slapping it on.
You think you're in Game of Thrones. Right, so Simple has been lost towards the long area. You can see that Zeus has picked up the gun. But now, question is, what do? They've got C's over towards B on his own with all of a Glock, while the remaining 2 players try to figure out what the best approach is. If they've got a plant, I would say they'd be extremely lucky indeed. But let's see how much damage they can do, worst case scenario.
Yeah, they just need to see if they can work something out here. They can presume that it's the two to a side split. That's like the most obvious thing in this situation. But they need to team up and get that 2. Oh dear, the fire coming down at the same time as the peak from Zeus. So this like will hold on pretty well. Just Guardian left with no armor, and he's going to get killed as well. So Flipside with a clean round, another clean round, and they are definitely going to be quite happy with that one, as there's loads of money to get the AWPs rolling in, and Simple's going to do exactly that, going to pick up the AWP. And NaVi not able to afford an AWP, and I'm not sure how well the AWP plays for them. In the past, this is like the one map where I see Guardian just not really having a massive impact for NaVi.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Flipside AWPers will approach the map on the second half, but for now, it is NaVi on the first. You can see the limited nades there following the 4th buy for the NaVi side. But they have 5 smokes in the bag, so we'll see what the plan is. Again, lots of stuff missing from Flipside's match with Peter, so things were a lot easier than they might be here, and hopefully that won't have put them into bad habits. Well, that is a handsome picture indeed.
So Zeus is just waiting for that smoke to go away. They know that there is likely a player lurking, and Same goes for Flipside. Behind that smoke, they know there could be a few players. And there it is. This B-long take is very dangerous, and Audit is going to spot 2 players. He will actually pick up the kill onto Guardian. Oh, can he get another one? He will. Zeus gets picked off as well. That's an excellent response there from Audit, but his teammates have to hold the line, and Bondic will do exactly that, taking 2 lives as well, leaving just Edward alone by the B-long area. And he is against 3 players. They haven't spotted where the bomb is going to go, but they must hear the stepping in from Edward. There's the first pick off. Simple goes down as Edward looks to get this bomb planted. He's got 25 seconds. There's the second player as well. Edward just needs to find Markov. Goes for the spray down, gets it long range. Excellent stuff there from Edward. Saves the round. And NaVi picked their first T round up very early on with a phenomenal clutch out of Edwards.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprise victory there. In an unwinnable situation, he manages to eke out the W regardless. So, well done to him. That's going to be a difficult early loss here for Flipside. Considerable damage done to their economy. AWP has left the building.
Look at those culls, James.
I know, I told you, it's handsome as hell. All he needs is roller skates and like a lion print one piece, and he's good to go.
Looks like he is a character out of Game of Thrones with such majestic culls. A regal look indeed.
So the normal default from Flipside often has Blade hanging around the underpass with the majority of the players over towards B, but back to that a bit later on. Bondic holding things down there with 2 frags in the bag. Bomb left in a passive position, so they won't have the full idea as to what's going on yet, as control of the drop zone can lead you to either direction. So NaVi changing plans now after that failure to push the B bomb site, or potentially anyway. Still not really showing their full intentions on the minimap. Flipside not going to be getting too aggressive, not going to try and find out the information. They're going to patiently wait. Again, their economy is severely hurt after that 1v3 by Edward. And the bomb's in T-spawn at the moment, with only 30 seconds remaining, so I think they're going for the save here. 3 against 5. Not the easiest map to try and breach the site, especially as it's still the kind of earlier days of Cobblestone.
They were just going to hide in the sniper nest. That was the best spot back in the old days, in 1.6 with this map.
Best spot for what?
Just for being.
What would you do in there, Dan?
Just be really annoying. Just you're not having any impact on winning the round.
So you're a massive troll, basically.
Just be really annoying. I mean, if you wanted to be a troll.
No, I did exactly the same. I was in there with a scout, Dan, of course.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do on the map? Go around and shoot people with like AKs? No, I'm going to have the scout. I'm going to be in the tower.
And back then, you could still actually, as the CTs, kind of spot that position from your own kind of like sniper nest in the middle area as well. So, but that's gone now, which is good.
It's all gone.
It was just a really horrible,
worthy
annoying gameplay.
Yeah.
Just boring gameplay spot. All right, but it's gonna be NaVi with Guardian just gonna harass just ever so slightly towards B long. And Flipside, this is the standard kind of setup. This time they've gone with 2 players in this A long area, and you can see how that can cover off into CT ramp, and they have actually a 3rd player there as well. So not a Flipside with quite an investment here on towards the A side of the map. Not so common to have this setup.
I have to say that flash into drop zone was awful. The way they threw it was completely terrible. You need to throw it off the wall behind them, so it just goes into the hole and pops immediately.
We could have really nice crossfires from the players on A here from Flipside. There's 3 of them. And NaVi are actually walking into this. Again, you would never really expect 3 players to just be standing here. This is not so common. It's quite a big risk on your B play. Oh, but it's going to be 2 kills from Zeus. That's ridiculous there with the Tech 9. What is this madness?
That's another gun for the team as well. 2 guns indeed. C's picking up the second M4. So starting the round with limited money. They've got all the guns in the world, and now there's only Warded and Bondic. The economy for Flipside is being ruined here. They've got no choice but to retreat. They've got no frags so far in this round. Just Warded and Bondic. And we'll see if NaVi start the hunt.
It's one of the reasons why Tech 9's like, so ridiculously good, because even on buy rounds, it makes a lot of sense to have players that can just jump into angles, because even if they don't get a kill, they draw so much fire. So you get the positions of the opponents. Plus, if they are rifling, they're going to be their weapons are going to be they're gonna have to deal with a lot of recoil already. So then if they eventually do kill the guy that's jumped because they made the shot so hard and they can't get an instant headshot, now the guys following up through into the position should get an easy trade. But in this case, the Tech 9 is actually really sick running and jumping, so you can actually just frag people with it as well. Yeah. And we have situations like that which are just completely, there's just nothing that Flipsid can do from that position. So that really sucks for them. However, they do still have enough money for the buy, and Simple's going to be on the AWP, so maybe he can find something this time.
Right, so he's going to be in charge of the long area of A early on. You'll see how aggressive he gets. Flipside may feel like they need an early advantage here. You can see him just holding angles there. And there are a few people to find. That's a nice way. Going to do a little bit of damage and ward him off from that particular angle. So you can see the approach from NaVi. Double nades coming in case there's a potential boost. Now, Flamey needs to turn around and throw his flash off the rear wall to have a true pop flash. But now they're just going to try and clear out the space with aggression. That flash does go in, and the frag is found by Flamey. Still one more person to contend with though. That nade's going to give the game away. Markelov versus Flamey. Markelov just with the FAMAS here. No helmet either, so that M4 of Flamey's is now an AK.
Yeah, it's actually really cool for NaVi now that they have this spot, because you can see the rest of them. That's a great kill there from Flamey onto Markelov, but the rest of his team are actually moving into A now, so they're going to be able to split up the B rotate and pressure in from the back. So they have an insanely powerful push, do NaVi. They have every opportunity to win this round, but Flipside coming in with a great defense. 2 kills from Blade there, back to back, and now the bomb is down on the floor. So NaVi's massive advantage is melting before them, and it's on Flamey now to save it, as Blade and Simple are the 2 remaining players for Flipside who have the possession of the bomb. And with 12 seconds, there's nothing that NaVi can do. And again, it is partly the double-edged sword of their slow round style.
Have you ever held a double-edged sword, Dan?
No.
A broadsword? No.
No, I have not handled any swords, except once a, what was it? It was a Chinese broadsword. I forget what they're called actually, but
I have 3 swords.
Nice.
None of which are double-edged.
Okay. Good to know.
I guess we should commentate Counter-Strike now. And leave the sword talk for later. Edward heading over to where the angle where Simple was holding an angle. Excuse me, tongue-tied today. Oh, that's just, I don't know, somebody called Petter about that. Flipside quite spread out across the map. More passive positions towards A. And funnily enough, NaVi are taking the map control earlier than in previous rounds. I think the AWP is in that direction as well. NaVi looking for openings here. Simple mixing up his positions. So the question for NaVi is, where is Simple? Because he's a danger man. He's that primary AWPer. So that's really interesting actually. NaVi had a fair amount of map control over towards A, but of course they are moving now in a different direction. Is he going to survive there? No, because he's going to get taken down through the box by Zeus, but that was valiant effort to try and hide his position. Did not pay off in the end.
Nice push from NaVi. Doing it very well, very solid, very clinical. And yeah, you got to respect the effort there from Moded. He was just standing the flames. I think he was hoping that they would anticipate him running out immediately. So if he adds a little bit of a delay there, Zeus will just throw away the AWP. Very smart. If he just adds a little bit of delay, they might run forwards and think that the spot is clear, and he can actually get a kill and then die, because he knows he's always going to die once that Molotov goes down. So that was actually a smart little tactical play there from Moded. That didn't pay off in the end, unfortunately for him. And NaVi with a pretty effective push in the end. Now Flipside, I wonder how their economy looks here. Ooh, Blade, good stuff there. Takes down 2 players. Are they going to have any more to throw at him? There is 1 player, but he's going to survive. So yeah, the money's looking pretty terrible. And I have to say, were there chickens on this map before? I'm pretty sure there weren't.
No, I think they added chickens on.
I'm telling you, every single update they add like 1 or 2 chickens, and just enough that maybe no one notices. But I notice. I notice these things. I have a spreadsheet with all the chicken values, so I always know when there are changes to the chicken population.
NaVi moving towards the B-bomb site and the drop zone at the moment. Nobody at all over towards A. And again, you can see Simple's position. He's gone towards double doors with that Deagle. We know how dangerous he is with that, but NaVi expecting the eco maybe. Looking to have safety in numbers. And look at that clearance. Everybody dead apart from Simple. Just a case of how much damage he can do now.
He is the Deagle master, to be honest. You have to credit him with being probably the most effective player with the Deagle in the game that I have seen in like official matches. He is able to do very incredible stuff with it. His accuracy is just so solid with it, and he makes it look like a weapon that's much more consistent than it really is. So that's pretty cool. Either way, looks like he's not going to be able to do much here. Oh, I did not even see that guy, but Simple did. And he will take his head off. So that's one kill, one extra little bit of damage. Oh, that's a nasty angle there.
I only saw him when he was dead, Dan.
Yeah, you just see his body limp. Removed of any life. But there it is. Ooh, another one for Simple. And he's going to pick up a weapon as well. This guy is so fun to watch with the Eagle, man.
I don't know what to say. Oh god.
Very nice. So they still need this is that spot. Henry G refers to this as the sewers, where like you don't really want to buy, but you have to buy. You're like in this horrible. They're not quite in that horrible cycle just yet, but they have to buy a couple of famines, and they are low on grenades. So Flipside in a horrible spot there.
It reminds me of. It doesn't remind me of, but it makes me think of that part in the Flash Gordon film, where there's that big green monster thing, and he has to put his arm in there and see if it gets bitten. It's like Russian roulette with a big green
Gordon's
organism.
alive.
Gordon's alive. Brian Blessed is my hero.
He has the most. His voice is just so booming. It's the very definition of a booming voice. Okay.
This is looking, well, it's expected for it to be a lot more challenging, but NaVi are changing their formation every single round. And Flipside are trying to do the same. But you have to feel like Flipside are winning NaVi are winning the war of attrition at the moment, because the Flipside economy is hurting and they are losing players and bomb sites. They're completely locked out of the A site now.
Blade has to take a risk. He's got to go in. He does get the kill as they try to go through or past connector. But the bomb is still actually towards B long here. And I don't know if they realize this. They're getting caught on the rotation. This is really weird here for NaVi. But it's a 3-on-3. And what did it? Oh dear. Guardian in a nasty position. And this is going to be a rough save here.
Well, they're behind the box. He's been spotted. Sees, finds a frag. Down to Blade now. So much back and forth here. Oh, he's going to win the duel. Sees on 30 HP. This is anyone's. He's spotted Blade. Oh, is that Flash going to do the job here? Let's have a look. I think Sees might still be behind the box. Nope, he's changed his position and he will win that final duel. Very expensive round here for both teams.
He full flashed himself, James. He full flashed himself. That really sucks. He would have had a very solid chance in that otherwise if he wasn't completely blind. And now that's going to mean that they have no money again. So something we've seen actually is that this has become much more of a T-sided map due to the nature of the Skyfall area, the drop zone, and some of the aim duel situations the teams and players are finding on the B long area, and they're actually going to go for that again. They seem to really like this on their anti-eco because they can all stick together, and I respect that. That's a really nice decision. Just knock off is close, to spot the barrel of the gun, and pick up a quick sneaky frag, but it seems to be the case that is perhaps all they'll get, although Simple is alive with the Deagle. You know what that means.
Well, he gets taken out this time. Some bonus money made by Zeus. Picks up an AWP as well, so that worked out pretty good for NaVi, taking a one-round lead. Back and forth is Rio. NaVi's money not looking spectacular either, but they are... Ooh, never mind that. Double AWPs coming out for Flipside now, changing things up. So we're going to have Simple going back to his normal position with Blade going towards double doors. This is the default for Flipside, basically, on this. Maybe not gun-wise, but definitely formation-wise. As he gets the first frag, it's going to be Simple going down to Guardian. That's going to leave a big hole towards the A-bomb site. NaVi might know the formation of Flipside watching their match against Peter here, which might be why they're starting to move a bit fast. But C still looking for rotations. Still offering doubt to the Flipside team. A minute for NaVi to play with.
Yeah, it's I have to make a point about that decision from Simple in a minute, but NaVi taking some map control now. They have themselves positioning towards A, and they are still 4 left alive, so they could just decide to just go for it right now. They've got all of A long, so they have a very nice angle of attack in, and the smoke will cover them actually if they want to use that to get onto the bomb site, or they could try to wait it out a little bit to have some more open aim jewels, which will favor them with the man-up advantage and the positional advantage, and great use of the Molotov, but Markov's going to find a frag anyway. Gets the second one too. That's going to make it a 2-on-2 now as Bondik's going to come in. It's not smoked off just yet, but it will be now, so that's not going to allow Bondik through after all. That could have been a close call there for NaVi. Bondik's going to have to make his way around elsewhere, but Guardian's on the angle now.
He knows not to challenge him again.
Has this under control at the moment. Still trying to push on forwards though. In comes Bondik around the side as well. It goes close with the AWP, but in from the back, Guardian's going to find the frag, but does he actually have time to defuse? He may have done actually, but he's going to go for the quick flick. He won't pull it off as Guardian will get the run and gun with the P250 and another close round, but not going Flipside's way.
Yeah, there's been a few rounds where it's come down to a 1v1, but it's almost always NaVi who's taking it, so trying times Flipside as we start to head towards closing out this first half. They're going to find themselves on pistols, only Markolov with some Kevlar. So we'll see what their eco strat is here. NaVi not going for the normal formation in these rounds, where they just pushed towards B, and we are into the Matrix, Dan.
Ooh.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
We need a sound effect that lets you know that you've gone bullet time. But this is not even bullet time. This is just time has been frozen.
We are floating.
I've never seen this kind of, because there's no connection interrupted or anything, which normally you would associate with a freeze like this. So what does it mean?
Hello.
What does it mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, sometimes there can be a short delay before the kind of connection thing turns up, but other than that, I think we probably would have seen it in that time frame. So who knows what's happening? But how do you feel this is going for both teams so far?
Well, there was one thing that I noticed in the previous round where they went double AWP, and it was that simple. He went A-long with the AWP, and very early on in Cobble, the new Cobble, that kind of aggression was something that worked out a lot because people didn't really have the right players in place because they didn't really understand the metagame very well just yet, or like what was strong for either team. And then everyone started having players in place on their T side early on to deal with pushes there from the CTs. Because if the CTs can actually push that little choke point, then they can get really nice angles into basically the side of any rotations that the T side wants to do from B in towards A again. So it's kind of an important area to handle early on. And it is favorable too for the T's. We see all the angles that they had. They had like 2 or 3 players facing it at once. Okay, it was a server crash, guys. So we'll get that back up and running as soon as possible. But to finish off the point here, what Simple decided to do was he knew that NaVi knew that he was going to be peeking there. Like that's what he knows. And he, like if you're on the T side, taking gambles like this can be quite nice because you can actually take a risk with one guy's life to try to basically destroy the setup of the CTs and force them to reposition and then play 2 on a site or something like that. You'll cause like there's a really big edge to gain by doing it potentially. However, on the CT side, if you win that fight, the edge you gain is like not even comparable to if you won the fight on the T side of that duel. So he's going to go for this gamble, right? And he dies, which is kind of likely because there's like 2 players staring at his angle. And then his team, they're in like a horrible position now. So I'd question these kinds of decisions. And does he do it because he's really confident in taking duels against AWPers? But it's against Guardian, James.
It is, and
that's Guardian.
That's never going to be easy.
But do you see the logic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's a big, if you lose the duel, it's a big disadvantage for the CTs. If you lose someone really early on, it's hard to hold the map.
Yeah.
Very hard indeed.
But the TLDR is, like, find a favorable duel. Don't just play it into like a favorable duel for your opponents, basically.
So we are waiting for the GoToV server to come back up. But in the meantime, guys, again, once we hit 550k followers, we will be giving away a Bison signed by GetRight and a StatTrack gut knife slaughter minimal wear from my own inventory.
Why are you giving it away? Why?
I seem to have a habit of giving away knives on stream. My own knives. This is the 3rd one I've given away.
How many do you have left?
6.
Really? What the hell? Where'd you get these knives from?
My wallet.
Do you actually do you buy them or do you open them?
That my friend Lars opened that one a very long time ago,
Okay.
and I bought it from him for like 86 euros or somewhere around that. I think it was 85 euros actually, not 86, Dan. But I also have a StatTrak bayonet rust coat, which I bought. I have a Damascus steel karambit, which I can't remember if I bought it or opened it in the case. I have a Tiger Tooth karambit, which makes the Damascus steel kind of redundant now, because I'm always going to choose a Tiger Tooth over it, which I bought from some
So
dude.
there's another knife you can give away then.
I have an M9 bayonet fade, full fade of course, which I opened in a box. I opened 2 of those in a box. Not 1 box, but 2 boxes. And I have a butterfly knife Knight, which I let producer Reese use. It's my good deed for the month, Dan. Let him use one of my knives.
Nice.
I think that's all of them.
I think we should let producer Reese cast the game one day. What do you think?
You think so?
Yeah.
We could potentially do it, but producer Reese is like the Stig. No one knows what he looks like, so we're gonna have to. What we'll have to do is have him sit here with like a shower curtain on a wheel just in front of him. So
why a shower curtain? Why not just like a mask?
because he's got like a.
Why not a mask?
I suppose
That's
he could.
way more
but then people would
convenient.
know his form. But no one knows producer Reese's final form.
His form.
For all we know, we've got the octopus person from that Sawn-Off is in that desk doing all these things. You don't know.
I don't know about that, James.
Maybe producer Reese is human. Maybe he's got loads of tentacles, Dan.
I don't know about that, because if he had loads of tentacles, he'd be like super amazing at production. Like never a single mistake ever.
Oh, so what are you saying, Dan?
We'll make mistakes, James, because
Are
we're
you
human.
saying
We're human. We're not.
Are you
we're
saying
not
producer Reese is not
octopods.
super amazing at production?
We're not octopodes, James.
We are not octopi. But what if producer Reese is? What if he is, but some of it got caught like in a trawler, and he has to cut them off to escape, so he hasn't got as many tentacles as your average tentacled organism might have? No?
What if, James, you shut up?
How did you find the Roquefort yesterday?
It was nice. It was fine.
Only nice? It was fine.
It was
Roquefort
fine.
is not nice or fine. Roquefort is glorious.
Okay, I stand corrected.
It's glorious.
How did you find the pineapple? It's now an ornament on your desk.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? I haven't eaten it, so it's just a pineapple.
Mm.
It's a nice looking pineapple, though. If you weren't tuned in yesterday, I produced some cheese for Dan to eat because he had not had Roquefort, and he thinks he's French, right?
I don't think I'm French.
But Dan ate it during the break, before we came on with the cheese, and he's like, "Oh, I ate that during the break." Actually happened, and then he produced a pineapple. Just like here, James, have this. This is a pineapple, which now resides on my desk.
Well, you produced a Kawano.
Yeah.
That is
And you didn't eat it,
more random.
which is I find offensive.
Good.
I got you a Kawano. I got a Kawano for producer Reese. Reese ate his Kawano. I ate my Kawano. You left your Kawano to rot on a shelf.
Good.
This is the kind of man I work with here at Face It TV.
It's the thing is that I don't want to eat something that. I mean, the thing is that producer Reese had just described it as like eating, what is it, like fish eggs, basically, more or less, like fish spawn.
Yeah,
That's how he
said
described it.
like frog babies, I think is what he said. Wasn't it? Tadpoles or something.
Why would I ever want to?
He said it was like eating frog spawn, I think was his.
Yeah. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to put frog spawn in my mouth?
Look, man, if I get you frog spawn, you eat the damn frog spawn, right?
Why?
Because it's polite.
It's not polite.
It's like when you have your aunts. I always used to have these aunts. You know like how when you're a kid, and everyone is your aunt or your uncle, and you don't actually know who you're related to because everyone's apparently related to you, but almost none of them actually are. Anyway, you had these dodgy aunts come over, right? And they'd always come over with these like tins, these big tins of biscuits that were like the worst biscuits ever. They'd always have this massive biscuit platter, and I'd be like, oh, we've got a platter. They're just disgusting. It's the kind of stuff you have like when you're like in your teens, and you have like a tin each, right? With like you and I would have a tin of these biscuits each and a glass of water, and we'd eat as many biscuits as we can, and then the first to drink the water afterwards loses. Those kind of biscuits, the biscuits that just dry out your mouth. I always used to get these tins of biscuits, Dan, all the time from these fraudulent aunts and uncles. If any of you watching, you're all frauds. None of you are related to me. None. Not a single one. Maybe one.
I can't relate to this experience at all.
No?
I had a lonely experience. I was just troglodyte living in a cave,
Cupboard under the stairs.
making my own way in life with no relatives.
Running around, tripping over badgers in the countryside.
Exactly.
I literally cannot imagine running.
You've probably never seen a badger because you're a country, a city lad.
I'm a what?
You're a city lad, so you've never seen wildlife in its natural habitat. You've only gawked at it through bars and zoos and so on.
When I went to Tallinn in Estonia, right? I went to Tallinn Zoo, and they have an American brown bear, and a polar bear, and they just sit in these big cages, Dan. And the polar bear was playing with the padlock on the gate, and I was afraid. But we'll come back to that later. Double orbs here for Flipside. Just the one here for Guardian. And it seems we've missed one round and it's gone to 8-5. When we left it was 7 to NaVi. So they've got another round in the bag. Flipside with the big buy. Looks like they've been smoked out of... Oh, that's not good. Looks like they've been smoked out of the drop zone for now. You can see that pressure being applied. So, Dan, we have no map. We're going to cast with no map. This is going to be good.
I'll make it a bit too easy anyway. So we've got Markloff already kicking things off with a kill onto Flame. It could be another one. So Markloff is just toying with them at the moment. Not too bad here. He picks up another kill. Oh my goodness, Markloff. 1, 2, and 3.
The rotation's coming in from Simple as well. Despite them not having lost any plays at that time, obviously Markloff's gone down now, but prior to that, he was already making the move over. That's going to be a nice shot from Roderick through the wall. Gets a no-scope snap onto Zeus as well. And Flipside finally get another round on the board as we move into the last round of the first half. So, again, guys, the default we can expect from Flipside is Simple going over towards that long A area, Blade near the double doors, and then 3 towards the drop zone and B bomb site. So just keep that in your mind as we continue without the mini-map here. You can see there's one player in the drop zone for Flipside, and they'll put 2 over towards the B bomb site. Oh, that nade's going to be money. C's down to 44 HP already, and there's Simple over towards long A again. He should have Blade in the double doors. Simple continually changing his setup with mixed success. Trades coming in from NaVi in the drop zone, and they've got 3 players going down there now. Or teasing the idea of. So, Flamey just holding an angle as Zeus extends, and I think we're going to see the B push here down.
They are taking down so many players, and there goes the last man really standing in a good position for Flipside, and Simple gets eliminated as well. So a bit of a no contest there towards the end, and NaVi taking a really solid amount of rounds, as you would begin to expect, I think, on the T side. Again, like, teams are really beginning to figure out how to take map control into A, and sometimes fragging along the way, how to take a drop zone, and of course the opportunities that come from that, and also how to take the B long area, which is also super important, because if you can take that, then you have such an amazing series of like angels and vantage. It's a great vantage point to attack onto the bomb site. So it does seem like a more T-sided map recently, and so that was. I mean, the thing is, NaVi have been struggling on this map for some reason on their T sides, but they should be able to easily. I think this should be a really close game. I think NaVi should be able to get the same amount of rounds here on T side.
I looking at the way the CTs were dismantled on the B bomb site there, I feel like there's still a long way to go in terms of players and teams knowing how to react to CTs being picked off in certain areas, basically to try and hold down their defense. But I mean, they're still stretched fairly thin across the map. But I do think there's more to be found out there, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be done as far as understanding the setups on the A side of the map still. We see teams basically trying to innovate all the time with that. We had a 3-man setup there from Flipside a few times. Sorry, from NaVi a few times. No, sorry, it was Flipside, and they were.
Who was it, Dan?
I don't know, James, anymore. But we had a 3-man setup there, which was destroyed by Zeus's Tech 9, so Flipside unable to actually hold it down. But teams are playing with this all the time now because they're understanding that the metagame has evolved so much with just like these map control takes into A, and the super fast B rushes aren't really that common. So you can gamble it here and there to try to get an advantage earlier on. So it's cool to see that because Cobble looks like a kind of like quite a simple map, but there are all these subtle changes that if you really pay attention, if you watch a lot of games, you start to notice how teams are beginning to find edges and respond. And this is a round where we're going to see a more of a B retake, a very similar CT style kind of meta as we saw Flipside playing with Simple getting all those kills early on. It's going to be Seas that picks up one. Oh no, Flipside haven't realized what's going on. They're going to play it into NaVi's hands.
Oh, and Blade caught in the middle of nowhere. Zeus tapping down Simple as well. Zeus, when he was shooting Blade, he did the Terminator theme tune by accident at the same time, which is kind of cool. But only Bondic remaining now, doesn't have the bomb. And there's almost no tags here for NaVi. And Bondic just... Wow, he got crucified there, but Bondic's got more heads to find. Picked up the USP as well, gonna have a little more range for these one-taps. Too many guns to go up against, and that is a humongous pistol round for NaVi.
You know, the best thing, one of the best things about Painkiller was that there was a stake gun, of course, and you could actually just kind of like crucify people with it. Like, so if someone was jumping down like that and you shot the stake gun, he'd be staked to the wall, and that was awesome. That's kind of reminded me of that. That shot was really cool. But yeah, really nice pistol. We're seeing these gambles with A plays very commonly now from the CT side. So really interesting. Again, the development of how teams are beginning to play. CT pistols are really important to win, of course, obviously, but there's so much you can do with them. And I love teams exploiting that. And here's the drop with all these pistols and armors. And Flame only gets one. This could be massive for Flipside.
Okay, so you can see Guardian is left on the A bomb site with a Nova. And well, that it's still just waiting there with the Deagle. So you have to wonder what the plan is for Flipside. They're sitting on their control of the drop zone area at the moment. Well, that it's starting to rotate now. Guardian still having to just try and hold things down. Bit of a gap there for Markolov to play with. But now Flipside have to decide what the best way to continue is. You can see Edwards, he's just going to wait for a timing play. There are no flashbangs left for his teammates to pop him in. He could actually just jump up and go for a bit of a Kobe Bryant shot.
He might do that if he hears some sound cues. And worded it, and we're getting very close. There it is, and Simple going for the follow-up. He gets it. In fact, no, sorry, it was Blade. It will be just Markolov and Blade left over now as well. 2-on-2 against Guardian and Seized. Both coming from the double doors now. And Seized has a nice position there, able to spot if any players jump onto the site. This is very important. The Guardian holds this down with a big pop-up pump, but he can't do it. It's going to be the frag for Markolov, and Blade gets the bomb planted. And, oh, there it is. The final kill for the elimination victory. Seized goes down, and Flipside are back in it to win it.
It's really interesting, the predicament the CTs are put in when they lose the drop zone area, because obviously it opens up the entire map for the T side, but also the players on the B side need to watch their backs, and it makes them have less safe angles.
Okay. Push coming into the B long area here for Flipside. They want to overpower NaVi's defense. Can they get it done here?
Right, you can see Edwards doing it back in the box. He's going to go for a different peek this time, get the first kill onto Simple. So far, so good here for NaVi. Again, they are with the inferior weapons at the moment. Bondic trying to close the distance between the hidden Edwards. Get a nice snap. Second kill for him. Lots of money in the bank as well. 3 more NaVi players to find. The bomb is on the side. Hasn't been planted just yet. Zeus falling to Markolov. So now the numbers game is strong for Flipside. They'll have many angles to stop this push. Only Flamey remains with an MP9. Gets a bit of money in the bank. And Markolov will shoot him from the front as he gets flanked from the back. So, Flipside having a good start after losing the pistol. Going straight for the AWP here, while NaVi will be on the eco. So let's see what their approach is. Can sometimes be difficult having the AWP when the opposing force, no pun intended, just has the pistols. But there aren't many, well, there are no flashes for NaVi to work with here, so I don't think we're going to see that many shenanigans from them.
Poor Edward. Gonna get crushed there. And just the same approach as NaVi.
Oh!
And they are going to be going for that long take. Looking quite good here. Flamey doing some work with that Deagle, but can't go all Crystal on them. Shoutouts to Crystal for his awesome 4-1-Ds in that position. We have a 3-on-2 now, NaVi, not with anything to really put together. They've only just got some stock pistols, and that's pretty much it. Let's see if they can find some damage and maybe some weapons lying around. But beyond that, it's hard to accomplish all that much at this point. You can see that they are just very wary of getting any exits.
Is Guardian going to go into the toilet? No, he's not. I would have gone into the toilet. They're playing for the exit frags here, basically. Oh, if he holds the... Oh, well did it. He knew.
Yeah, it's one of those things where in this game, of course, if you're closer to the angle, you will be spotted first by the guy who's further away on the angle, if that makes sense. So you've got to be quite wary about that. They do get advantages.
Someone did a nice diagram of that, actually, on Reddit a very long time ago.
I think Warrow did a video on it as well. I'm sure there must be other people that also documented this, but that was the one that I saw. But it is very useful information when you're thinking about how angle holding works. But you have 9 to 10 scoreline now as Flipside are beginning to utilize things. They've got double up here on the T side. NaVi need to hold on, and they do have 3 players on the B site. They have the very standard kind of setup that you would expect. And Flipside, they haven't made any move towards the A map control just yet. They are very defensive at the moment.
We can see how the layout differs from Flipside. Whereas you normally have Blade sitting on the double doors where Simple is approaching with the AWP, but instead we have Guardian holding an angle from those stairs up to long towards the doors themselves. 45 seconds on the clock here for Flipside, actually. The bomb still could go either way. Flipside need to get moving now. Zeus gonna lose the duel with Bondit there. A bit of madness through the smoke. It's gonna start the movement from NaVi to try and defend all the angles here. Looks like the push is gonna come into the A site. There's a nice frag from CSGO. It's gonna get a second one as well. Flipside being cut down. 25 seconds left on the clock for them to try and take this.
They don't left themselves with very much time indeed, and it's going to be a mad dash to get that bomb planted in the end, as we have the full rotation from NaVi ready to receive this push onto this A site. Zeus with 2 more frags there, looking for that ace, and the last player there by CT Ramp with the AWP is going to be Simple. He can't get a single kill right now, and C's going to go for that ace. He will pick it up. Great defense there from Seized, and 11 to 9.
NaVi picking up the second AWP there, and I don't know. I think the approach on the T side with the AWP at the moment is looking kind of difficult for Simple. He was just roaming around, looking for a pick there, pretty much on his own towards double doors. Didn't work out for him, but now he's going to be up against 2, and maybe the rifles will be more favourable, at least for the time being. So we'll have to see how he fares with the AK that he has since picked up. Flipside looking to keep the pressure up on the NaVi economy. Only 2 rounds behind. They'll push through that smoke. Try and take them by surprise, and there it is. 2 AK kills straight away, and that's what I'm talking about. I think it's a very favourable map for that. Brings the third one as well. This round has pretty much been closed out in a matter of seconds by Simple.
I was actually going to make the point earlier, but that's sometimes we've seen Simple take this very kind of cocky approach where he does just want to run down there by himself sometimes, just to get kills. Because that's what you can do. It's one of those spots where the CTs are still trying to get in position. If you've got a really fast spawn there, then you can absolutely just catch them off guard. And if you get the fast one-taps, then it's pretty much over.
Yeah, but he's much better doing that with an AK than an AWP, at least on this map.
Yeah, and of course, Simple is probably their best rifler as well as their best AWPer, like for his skill ceiling. It's pretty high on every single aim sort of area. But good defense here on the save from NaVi to keep those weapons alive. But they are starting to look a little bit laboured right now. They're starting to look a little bit troubled. And again, this is a map that you wouldn't expect NaVi to win. At least I would not expect them to win this, because Flipside have shown more of an affinity towards good cobble play than NaVi lately. I feel like it's one of NaVi's biggest weaknesses. Now we'll have to see if they can keep things going, because now they have a very terrible situation on the buy. They at least have Guardian on the AWP, but he's going to have to find a lot of impact. Now, Guardian is playing towards the B bomb side. We can see him at the back of B, a little hut area there. Won't find any action just yet. Another slow start from Flipside. Yeah,
you can see the CTs have changed their layout as well, kind of abandoning the long A area. So both teams just continually mixing it up, and somewhat similar to Overpass. The T side need to slowly clear out little bits and bobs, and then try and use that information to find out where their CTs might be playing and how many they have in each area. So you can see Edwards holding an angle towards team main at the moment, towards also known as the long. But the entire Flipside team now heading over towards A and the underpass is only seized to try and mount a defense at the moment. They get that timing pop flash in, but that's a bit telegraphed. You can see Blade looking away there.
Yeah, this is really hard for the T's. Like, do they go left? Do they look right? Blade's gonna
Invisible
actually
smoke.
Oh, he's gonna look close right, and it was not the correct one. He will get traded. We'll see in the end, but not looking quite strong at the moment. It's a very brute force push from Flipside up CT ramp, but it's not really paying off. 3 players will be remaining for NaVi, and that's actually a pretty decent result, all things considered. And now Flipside could be throwing away their advantage that they were really pushing into this second half, as their money has been broken, and NaVi are going to be breathing a sigh of relief with quite an important recovery, because they would be ecoing had they lost that one, and we can see that the same impact was there for Flipside, who are now on the eco. Now what they choose to do with this eco is of course up to them. They have no grenades to work with. It's a great little flick there from Guardian, snapping onto the head of World Edit, and now the rest of Flipside looking to get that bomb down and maybe a couple kills towards B, but it's not looking very good for them at the moment.
That's a nice angle by Edward, and I've never even thought about that. Just jumping on top of that box when there's a smoke in there. Should be a favourable position indeed. I'm not sure if it fills the entire arch when it's in the middle, but I'll have to look at that another time. So only Bondic and Simple remaining. See what damage they can do. They don't have the bomb. Bondic just teasing, trying to find some information. They'll go for double peek here. So he's going to take both the frags, however. NaVi move within 3 rounds of taking the first map, and don't lose anyone. That's going to be good for their economy going forward. You can see it's not the best at the moment. So Flipside can take these next 2 rounds, then who knows what could happen.
I believe it was stated that Flipside tend to struggle a little bit against NaVi, which again you can see, you know, there is precedent for this kind of a dynamic, considering that it's basically a domestic matchup, which is pretty fun.
Worth noting, Dan, sorry to interrupt you, the AWP has gone over to World Edit now. And I think that makes sense because at least what we're seeing in this matchup is that it's more favourable for Simple to whip out the AK rather than the AWP, so it can be more dynamic, fast and fluid. And again, the different style from World Edit may work out better here, we'll have to see.
This is so defensive. NaVi have given up A control pretty much. They've got one guy on CT ramp, but he's really far forward, so this is a huge issue right now that NaVi are gambling on. They're gambling on the play going into towards B.
Did you see that decoy over the wall?
No. I did not.
World Edit was holding the angle, and Bondic bounced the decoy from behind World Edit over the arch to suggest a pop flash to make it a little bit safer for World Edit to peek, which is quite nice.
Hey, NaVi will get the kill towards drop zone, but Flipside, where is the push towards A at the moment? This is again something that they could exploit, and now they're coming together as 4 to push it, but now NaVi, after seeing nothing following up that push from drop zone, they identify it as the lurk correctly, and now rotate in time, but is it going to be fast enough? It has a connector has been smoked off on those double doors, and it is a great shot there onto the balcony, as Bondic is going to secure the bomb plant for Simple, and now it's going to be on Guardian and Edwards. Bomb just going the last seconds. So Edwards, he is alone, and this Simple guy is just going to pick it up. Great spray down, and another round there for Flipside, but NaVi should have just enough to get another buyout, and indeed they will be in a nice position for that. So 13-11, and Flipside are in a spot where if they lose this round, they are going to be on the eco, and the same again for NaVi. But of course, if NaVi are on the eco, sorry, if NaVi force the eco out, they pretty much have won the map. So good spot potentially for NaVi.
Right, so NaVi stacking 4 people over towards the B bomb site here with a potentially aggressive play from C to try and find out what he can. Complete lack of grenades here for NaVi, just a few flashbangs to try and get some important kills. However, Flipside team are definitely in the wrong direction as far as NaVi are concerned. Let's see how they react now. Got 2 people leaving the B bomb site heading back towards A, but Flipside not going to start racing just yet. Still over a minute on the clock for them to make a decision here. See if they can find themselves more CTs to break down with these guns.
This is really hard to like work out how to position yourself in NaVi's spot. Again, no grenades, a single flash from Edward to work with. And they've gone for a bit of a spread here, leaving just one guy on the bomb site. I think it's Guardian. And they've got a guy, one guy in connector. So it's really, really, really hard where Flips are going to go. There's 30 seconds left almost. 35 seconds rather.
Flipside now, they're in danger of leaving themselves with too little time. We've seen it before. Are we going to see it again? Oh, Zeus just moves just too early to see the player there. They're trying to find each other, but he's going to find the frag. 23 seconds left now, and you can see Flipside still creeping towards the site. The site is on fire. They've got multiple people coming in. The trades are not going the way of Flipside. They've waited too long. It's only well that it left versus 3. 12 seconds left. Needs to plant as well. There's one kill. Flamey is going to take him out in the trade. And again, I think Flipside just waited too long. Didn't give themselves enough time to clear out the site. They have to expect that they need to plant the bomb, and they need to give themselves enough time to do it in. And that was not enough time.
Guardian with a really nice double kill there. That second kill onto Simple was so important. And now NaVi again, going to be dealing with that eco as we mentioned. So Flipside in a lot of trouble. If they wanted to have a strong chance to win this series, they needed this map, because although they have a good Mirage, NaVi have, well, it's their best map, and so it's going to be very important for Flipside to find a way back into this one. Simple, of course, does have that AK armor, so maybe he can get some fragging done here. He's the man to do it for this team, if there's going to be anyone. But at the moment, they have to wait for these grenades to go away. They cannot just foolhardily dash through the smoke and expect a good result. So NaVi, likewise, they don't want to play for information, because they don't want to give, they don't want to play into the advantages close range of pistols. And here we go. We're going to have the push coming in from Flipside.
So Edwards goes down. See, the first one is baiting with a pistol to find out the information, but that's going to be a 3k for Flamey. The AK's gone down as well. Markov's picked up an M4. Going to get a trade, but that's going to be it. They've taken down 3 plays at least, so that's good damage, but they need to win every round now to take it to overtime. We will have to see. Yeah, that's an interesting point that Guardian makes there about hearing every single hit on A from the B bomb side. There are some... This map has some very bizarre bugs in it. Like if you are, for example, standing in a certain spot on team main, which is towards B, you can hear somebody on the site priming and throwing grenades, like as if you were throwing them yourself. It's very weird indeed.
Wow.
Well, they're going to take down Guardian, doing what Simple couldn't do in that situation, with lesser weaponry as well. Good start here for Flipside again. They need 4 out of 4, so as not to lose this in normal time.
How much did he just do? 60 damage with that grenade onto C's?
Boom.
That is ridiculous. C's has armor as well. That's nuts. Okay, we're going to have Zeus pushing in with a quick frag up on the boost there on the drop zone, and that's going to be really nice to equalize things up here, because Flipside were taking edges thanks to the scout work of World Edits. But now they go for that B push, and NaVi are positioned well around this. They've got Zeus here. He must make a frag at least in this position. There goes the pop flash over the top. Zeus is blind, really, really blind. Gets nothing. Flipside geared up to take the B bomb site. Only a really good performance here from Edward to stop it, I would say, as he does rest in a nice spot. Flamey also on a good angle. Now Edward's going to go down. Flamey gets only a single kill, and Seized can only save the AWP. There's just nothing else to do.
Seized is admiring the scenery.
It'd be cool if you could shoot those cannons on the left of Seized. That'd be nice.
Maybe we need a bell on Cobblestone.
A bell?
A bell. Yeah, it looks like a place that requires a bell for some reason. You know, if there was a fire, you'd probably want to ring a bell in a place such as this. I just think of Edinburgh Castle.
It's all made of stone, mostly. It's fine masonry. I always appreciate fine masonry. But I want to shoot the cannons, James. I don't care about your stupid bells. There's a crane in the distance. It feels like it's out of place. A crane in a medieval setting.
It does actually, because I did think, like, even though we've got like nice shiny guns and things.
There's a ladder
there. There is a ladder, yeah.
Didn't have ladders quite like that in the olden days.
No, we didn't. So, wow, we've got World in a super passive position here, almost at T spawn, just starting to emerge now. The peak did come in, but their eyes didn't meet. No romance to be had there.
Terrible buy for NaVi. Look at it. Just an Orphan Guardian and the rest of pistols. That is rough. Very rough indeed. Now it's going to take some good usage of utility here. They got a couple Molotovs to Flipside. Burn away some of these positions, potential positions of NaVi to make the entrance more easy for themselves.
There's a 4-man stack towards B again from NaVi. Flipside heading away though. You can hear one of those weird new knife sounds. Just a little whisper, as opposed to the kind of grisly sound from before, but we will see. Again, this is another situation where Flipside are running out of time. They've got no kills. They've got no significant map control here, other than what you'd normally have at the start of a round. And this is where things start to get troublesome. Is this going to be a third time where they have left it too late? There's a first frag. There's numbers in there. Flamey's close though. He's got the 5-7, picks up the AK as well. There's going to be a second frag for him. The trade coming in. There's only 2 NaVi players remaining. Well, they're at 5 HP. Guardian versus 2. 13 seconds on the clock, and Flipside has to get the bomb down. Guardian takes on Markov. It's a bomb planter versus Guardian now, and he's going to miss. And for the third time on map 1,